YouTube, hello. It's been a minute. I got COVID for the 4th time, so I've been recovering and I thought I could jump on here and do a reaction video. I had the privilege of shooting my first wedding last year and I finally posted it a couple days ago and got a great reaction from you, so I wanted to break it down scene by scene and just kind of give you my creative insight on why I did what I did in the video. So me and my wife just got married, and when we were wedding planning, we wanted to have a videographer and a photographer for the event. Since we both went to art school, we went to school with a lot of creative people, and one of my friends from San Francisco actually moved back up to Washington. So I hit him up to do photography for my wedding, and we had a meeting. We sat down and he was telling me like, hey bro, like I've been watching you on YouTube, like you're a good videographer. It was kind of weird how I saw you delivering for Amazon. You should be shooting weddings. And I was like, whoa, you know, that was crazy to hear from him. So me and him were sitting down, he gave me this information, and then I was like, okay, yeah, that seems like something I'd be interested in. And then he said, I can start recommending you to my current clients. So within 48 to 72 hours, I got a couple emails asking me what my rates were, you know, if I was available. And like 2 out of the 3 I couldn't do because I was traveling to Malaysia. This was last year. But one of them I locked in and we got the contract signed. I did a FaceTime with the couple and I locked it in and was able to create this video. So without my good friend Myung throwing me the assist on this video, I wouldn't have been able to have this opportunity. So I appreciate him for being a good friend, just kind of big upping me and having the faith in me to execute on this video. But without further ado, let's get into breaking down my first wedding videography video. All right, so this is my second take. The first upload didn't go through because it kept getting copyrighted and I wasn't talking enough, so the audio kept getting flagged for copyright infringement. So I'm gonna be a little bit more chatty in this version and just kind of break down what I was thinking behind my creative decisions during this wedding film. So right off the bat, we have a drone shot establishing Bellevue, Washington. You definitely want to get these type of drone shots during golden hour when the sun is kind of setting. Is that it's nice, not so harsh lighting. And the issue with shooting during golden hour is that you have a very limited amount of time. So I was rushing to this beach to shoot up my drone, get this shot. And luckily I still had enough light before the sunset.
Over the next several days, we're going to see those temperatures continue to climb, 68 by Friday, and check out just how beautiful and blue that sky is.
So that weather report actually was not even a weather report for Seattle or Bellevue. It was a weather report for Houston that I found online that fit the weather on the day of the wedding. So when I was walking around getting B-roll, I was thinking about the wedding, you know, what type of shots can I put in to establish the scene of Bellevue? And I came across this store and I love this. Don't yell at me. It's such great marriage advice. I think all marriages would be very successful if they follow this advice. So I wanted to establish Bellevue as its own character. So kind of give you guys a macro point of view on the video. So you get established, you know, okay, we're in this city, and then now we're kind of moving a little bit away from the city towards a more intimate, woodsy environment. So this arc was very important because they made this by hand, and that's something that the couple told me before the wedding that they really wanted this to get documented. So it was cool watching them assemble this by hand. And it was cool watching them just set up the whole wedding because they didn't have any wedding planners or any hired help. It was just like the sister and the family just rallying together, putting all the favors together and setting up all the chairs. So I thought it was cool how they had the whole family involved. So now we get this kind of drama introduced into the video. You have this audio, but you don't know who this person is. They're feeling sick, so there's a little bit of drama there, like, oh no, you know, what's going to happen? Are they going to get better? Are they going to feel better? So now you're introducing a second story into the story of the wedding. So as we'll progress throughout the video, you'll see that there's multiple storylines and even like super quick stories within the overarching story of the wedding. So right there it said I was so afraid that I couldn't attend the wedding. So now we're like building the drama up more. It's like, who is this person that may not attend the wedding? And I love this, how the light creeps through the wood, because they're saying like, this person was saying, you know, I prayed really hard that I'll be able to attend the wedding. And this kind of shows you that there'll be light. The light will come through, and it's kind of like a metaphor saying that, you know, this person will be able to attend the wedding just as the light will pierce through the darkness. And then for this, this is the wedding dress, but what you notice about it is there's no top to it. So this is the first wedding dress that I've dealt with where it was two different pieces. So obviously you want to get an establishing shot, a product shot of the dress itself. I tried to do it with two different pieces, but it just did not look clean. So I just did the bottom skirt and got this beautiful shot against the Robbinswood house. And as you can see, the top next to it, it's like a crop top, is right there next to the puffy sleeves and the bottom skirt. I love those candid moments. They were practicing their dance, their first dance. And I love how I got that kind of, you know, behind the scenes, you know, before all the makeup, before all the suits, before all like the glamour. Kind of like the behind the scenes that not too many people got to see. So I'm glad I was able to capture that intimate moment. And I love this shot too. You know, I like the negative, the use of negative space in this framing, and just kind of like the slow motion just building to her. You can kind of see the light seeping through her sleeves, and it just kind of makes this beautiful image. And these shots too are great, like just through window. You know, if you can ever shoot anything through a window, it just adds another dimension to it. When you have something, you know, in your foreground, it just elevates the shot. So I really like these window shots. So you may be wondering, I'm gonna pause on this clip up here real quick. So you may be wondering, you know, why are we doing the FaceTime on the phone? And I was, her family, her mom lives in Vietnam, so she couldn't attend the wedding, unfortunately. But I wanted to have a first look with the mom and the family, so I decided to set up a tripod with a phone, and then we would do the first look with the bride revealing herself to her family on the phone, so we could still have that, you know, capture that emotion of her mom seeing her daughter, you know, all done up on her wedding day. The slow shutter, I love this effect. it wasn't executed as perfectly as I could have done it because I was actually hand holding this, and when you lowered the shutter speed and you hold it by hand, it's gonna catch any little movement, like any little wobbling or movement. It's gonna make the frame look jittery. So that's why, even though you're looking at the bride, she's a little jittery because I did not have my tripod with me. So I wish I had my tripod when I was shooting this scene.
Nhưng mà giờ chú cho tôi đi được như vậy là tôi đã mãn nguyện lắm.
So now you kind of know who this person talking is. It's the grandma, and it kind of has this sigh of relief that she was able to attend the wedding. She felt better, you know, you see that she's there. So it's kind of like the end of one of those sub stories within the overarching story of the wedding.
Lắm rồi.
Yeah, so that one,
Mãn nguyện lắm rồi.
that's probably one of my favorite sequences. She's like looking out for her love, and then he like appears out of thin air, you know, and then they look together to the camera, very strong, very united. This was very difficult to edit. I tried my best to edit it very crisply, but I couldn't dial it in 100%. So I had to reach out to one of my friends, Taha, who is a video editor from Pakistan. And he helps me every now and again when I need some like really precision work, because, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still developing my editing skills. So he's like insane. Something that may take me like 2 hours to edit, he can do it in like, you know, 20 minutes. So I sent it to him and he just made it look real crispy. And then we kind of like have these filler shots where there's no people in it, just to kind of give it a break for, you know, for you to catch your breath, kind of reset. It's just like you would eat different foods, you know, like a 5-course meal. You have different things that reset your palate. So then that way, you know, you can indulge in the senses for the next food item you would eat. And for the video, you know, for the next scene, you won't be like fatigued from just being bombarded with so many different people. Then now we have her walking down the aisle with her uncle. And I love that shot too, because it almost sounds like the celloist is actually playing the song that I chose for this video. So I love how that timed up.
Hình mà mỗi lần tôi ở bên đây mà nó ở bển á, tới khi ba nó mất này, cái ba nó còn nó nhỏ xíu mà ba nó gửi hình qua thì tôi quý quá.
Yeah, so that was a pretty big emotional piece added to the video. You know, I found that out when I was talking with the bride. You know, I knew that in the back of my head, so I was really happy that I grabbed that B-roll of all the photos on the table where the guest book was. I didn't know what I was going to use it for, but then once I got the grandmother's interview translated, and she was talking about the photos that her father used to send, I was like, oh, this is perfect. The B-roll will align perfectly with grandma talking about all those images that the father was sending to Han and her grandmother. Man, so this shot, I was so lucky I got this shot, because this shot is one of the biggest shots you get at a wedding. You know, this is the first kiss. They're just newly married couple, so this is like a big shot. And for the entirety of the shoot, I had my main A7S III on me, and that's what most of this footage is. But since the wedding was in Vietnamese, I didn't have any audio cues on to what part of the wedding we were in. So things would just change really quickly, and you have to adapt and make sure that you are aiming your camera in the right direction And since it was outside, the light was always changing. So you always had to like be constantly updating your settings within the camera. So it was a lot to like, you know, juggle at once. And I missed this shot with my main camera. And I was kind of like annoyed with myself. I was like, how did I miss? You know, I wasn't in the right position and I missed it. But luckily, you know, a lot of good advice that I've got was always have redundancy when it comes to shooting professionally. And I put a backup camera in the aisle all the way in the back of the ceremony just to catch footage in case my memory cards got corrupted or, you know, my camera stopped working. So at least I would have some type of footage to show the couple in case, you know, a disaster happened. So then I was going back on the footage and I was like, oh my goodness, thank you God, this was on my backup camera. So I was able to kind of, you know, make it work. The settings weren't exactly dialed in on my backup camera. So it's a little blurry, a little soft, a little overblown in the highlights. So that's why I made it black and white. And that's why all these sequences, these kissing sequences are black and white. It wasn't done by, you know, kind of choice. It was done by, you know, trying to cover up a mistake, and it looks more intentional now that all these scenes are black and white. And also with the music, you can hear we're at like the crescendo of the song. So we're putting together kind of like the most powerful moments. And, you know, that's them being intimate, you know, kissing, showing their love. So I thought that was a good way to pair the crescendo with kind of like the crescendo of their love. That's awesome. See, I love these B-roll shots, these kind of candid shots. You know, as a vlogger, I understand how nerve-wracking it is when somebody puts a camera in front of your face and says, act normal. So it's great when I can just kind of like be a fly on the wall and people forget that I'm there, and then capture these kind of like intimate moments, these laughs, these like little conversations that they don't know that they're being recorded, and it looks very natural. And that's another thing about having a zoom lens, is that I can kind of stay farther away, zoom in, and not be like all up in people's faces like the paparazzi. So people feel more comfortable and more just kind of relaxed, that, you know, I'm not going to make them look like an idiot or something. Yeah, I thought this was cool as well. You know, I'm Catholic, so I thought that was very impressive. You know, the cord of the 3 strands is not easily broken, and then how they, you know, tied the knot together, literally tied the knot. Man, maybe that's where it comes from. I just realized that, like tying the knot. Okay, I never knew what that meant, so I guess that's what that means. And this is one of the pastors talking, and they had 2 pastors at the wedding ceremony, so it was very intimate and very faith oriented. Yeah, so this was cool. They didn't have any dancing or anything after, but I'm glad I was able to capture this moment, all the different reactions, and kind of, you know, the guy getting the bouquet is kind of ironic. So it was a beautiful venue, you know, picturesque. Every shot is very picturesque. You know, you have the greenery in the background, the trees, and you have the privacy as well. It's very secluded. There's not like people staring at you and all that. Like, you're very secluded. So incredible venue. I love just like the intensity of this shot, you know, the seriousness of both of them, just like realizing like we're going into a lifetime commitment with each other. I just love kind of the seriousness of this shot. And yeah, a trick to get kind of cool shots is always stick people in front of windows. You know, windows help diffuse the light. The way that touches the skin, it just looks very romantic, very just appealing, makes people look very nice. So yeah, I love how we had this shot. This was like right before she like walked out down the aisle. And then I shot my drone up. This was during when everybody was eating. Shot my drone up just to get more angles and just more, just adding more to the storyline. So after the wedding ceremony, all the guests kind of went to a cocktail hour, and then me and 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗦, the photographer, we took the bride and groom behind the ceremony area where there was like a park and woods. There was a barn, and we just did some B-roll shots. They got some photos as a couple, and yeah, just to add a little bit more flavor, just a different scenery, but it still has the nature, so it ties into the whole theme of the wedding. This is one of my favorite shots. I think it's a unique shot. Since a lot of the family was from Vietnam, they had a live stream during the event, and I think it was like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So they were like, all the people that stayed up were troopers. So it was cool to see everybody tuned in, and the bride, she FaceTimed her friends and family after, and I just ran up quickly behind her to capture this moment, and I like how it came out. It's a different point of view. Oh man, this shot, like I practiced this shot a lot, and it's unfortunate it didn't get executed as well as I wanted to, but you can still understand roughly what I'm trying to do here. So the previous shot was of somebody signing the guest book, and then I wanted to give the perspective of you are the guest book being signed. And how I accomplished that was I took a, maybe like 8x11 thing of plexiglass, and I put it on top of my camera, and I had this gentleman start signing it with a Sharpie. Unfortunately, it was really bright out, so I think that's another reason why you couldn't see the actual Sharpie marks on it. So you can see that he's actually signing it, but like the residue of the marker you really can't see. So it's unfortunate, but I still think people understood what I was trying to do there, and it's still, it's a cool shot. So this is just another shot. A lot of emotion, there's a lot of things going on. This is just kind of like calm you down. It's like a speed bump almost for you to like kind of reset yourself, and then we can go into the final piece of the video.
Cảm ơn Chúa, cầu xin Chúa tiếp tục sống trong cuộc sống của nó để dạy.
So now grandma is talking. It's finally synced up, her words and the video are all synced up. So it's kind of like the third act. This is the great reveal. You can finally know who is actually talking in real time. And I think it's just a good punctuation, exclamation point for towards the end of the video, because she lives in Bellevue. The grandmother lives in Bellevue. So she's kind of like the matriarch of the family. Very important person in the family. So it was important for me to kind of like highlight her in the video. Since she lives in Bellevue, that's why the wedding was in Bellevue. So yeah, it was just like important for me to kind of put her on a pedestal within this video.
Dỗ đó, đi theo con đường lối của Chúa cho đến cuối cùng.
I love this final shot. Their husband and wife walking together in their future, arm in arm, just ready to tackle their future. So I think this is a great way to visually represent them walking into their new married life. And the funny part about this shot is that 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗦, the photographer, is standing right next to me. He was about to walk right in the frame and follow them, but I was like telling him, like, bro, stay right there. I'm going to get this long shot. Please don't enter the frame. And you know, so I'm like literally talking to him right next to while he's right next to me. So luckily he didn't mess up that shot, so I was able to execute this one. They're walking together. Beautiful. Music's fading. That's it. That is it. Wow. So yeah, that's my first wedding video. You know, I posted this in like a wedding Facebook forum and got a lot of good feedback, you know, kind of like more technical advice. I think what I could do better next time is the coloring. It's a little faded. Some of the colors, you know, the in-camera settings weren't dialed in 100%. I think I can work better. But I think I think the strong point of it was the story, you know, really create a strong narrative and multiple narratives within the video. I think that's what I was able to execute very well. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate you. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers, you know, so tell your aunt, tell your sister-in-law to subscribe to the channel. We're almost to 1K. I appreciate you guys. And you know what I'm gonna say, be yourself and you'll make a difference. Peace.